What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are looking at another really fun new Transformer TCG card. The game is out in 2 days, and apparently it's out in the UK on Friday as well, which makes me delighted. It's my birthday on Saturday, so this releasing on Friday. I've never been into a TCG before it's launched before. I've never had this level of excitement for an impending TCG. I am delighted. So I thought, you know what? Let's parlay that excitement into a look at Kickback. Kickback is a Decepticon card. I am very excited about Kickback. And weirdly enough, the most exciting thing to me initially is that it costs 5 stars. Now in the Transformers TCG, you make a deck of 40 cards, and you can have any character cards you like as long as you don't have 2 identical ones, and as long as the total number of stars is 25 or fewer. And we looked at Ransack the other day. And when we looked at Ransack, I showed you a tweet that was sent out by one of the designers for the Transformers TCG, in which they basically said, yeah, we really like that Ransack is a 6 cost. We really want you to have a 4 character deck, really emphasizing the swarming nature of Insecticons. And I thought, well, all right then, but here's the thing. And I went through it in that video. We didn't actually have 4 Insecticons that added up to fewer than 25 stars. That wasn't possible. Whoopsie daisy. The great news is that with Kickback, we actually do have an Insecticon character deck that we can make with 4 Insecticons for 25 or fewer stars. Now, there's no choice here. Bombshell, Insecticon Mind Controller, cost of 8, he gone. But Barrage Merciless Decepticon, cost of 7. Chopchop Sneaky Insecticon, cost of 6, we're up to 13. Then you add in Insecticon Scrapnel, Insecticon Leader for 7, and Kickback for 5, and you're up to exactly 25 stars. Then, of course, we've got Ransack that we looked at the other day, who could either jump in instead of Kickback, or could jump in instead of Chopchop. We can essentially have 2 of those free. Or I suppose you could have the 8 cost Bombshell, add it with the 5 cost Kickback to make 13, and then go for the 2 6s, Ransack and Chopchop, and there we go. That would actually get you up to 25 as well. The point is, now that we've got a 5 cost, we can actually have a deck with 4 Insecticons, and that's amazing. Given the skills of this card, it's also actually really gosh darned important. So, Kickback then. When we're in bot mode, well, the attack we'll get to in a minute. The health of 9 is a fair bit lower than the average health of 12. The defense of 1 is lower than the average of 2. And then if we go into the insect mode, the alt mode here, attack of 3 is less than the average of 4. Defense of 1 is again less than the average of 2. Health of 9 less than the average of 12. But given that the average cost of a character card in this game is 8 and you're costing 5, we can forgive that your stats are slightly lower than average here. But really, what makes me super excited about Kickback is the bot mode skill. When this is attacking, flip 2 more battle cards for each other Insecticon you began the game with which you began the game, but you know, it's not that important. The point here is, if you start with 4 Insecticons, that basically gives you bold 6. Now, 2 important points here. It's each other Insecticon, so you don't get to flip 2 for Kickback here. And it's you began the game, not still alive, i.e., doesn't matter how many get knocked out, you always essentially have bold 6 on Kickback. It means that instead of flipping 2 cards when you attack and adding up the orange icons to see how much damage you do, you flip 8 cards. So even though you've got an attack of 0 and that might seem bad, you're flipping 8 cards. So as long as you build up your deck of a whole bunch of orange icons here, you should be absolutely fine. Of course, the huge downside of this, you are really going to have to be prioritizing orange icons if you're playing Kickback, which might limit the options of what you want to play in your deck. Now, as it turns at the moment, we've had one action card revealed and one upgrade card revealed that have 2 orange icons. Improvised Shield is an upgrade. It's armor, and it gives you tough 1. That's what it does. It gives you tough 1. Tough 1 means that you flip over 1 more card when you are defending. It's alright. I don't think it's a phenomenal card here, but I think it's alright. I think it's kind of interesting. It seems fine by me. Not a stunning card, but it's got 2 orange icons, which makes it a stunning card if you're playing bit of the old Kickback. And then in terms of action cards here, we have Peace Through Tyranny. You may knock out one of your characters that has 6 stars or more. If you do, take an extra turn after this one. Now, this one's a little bit annoying because on the one hand, the 2 orange icons is great, because that's going to really help to build up your attack. On the other hand, this is a card you're probably actually going to want to use in terms of actually playing it. So in that regard, it's actually a little bit annoying because you can't both play it and get the benefit of the 2 orange icons by flipping it when you attack. And that really, as far as I'm concerned, is what is so great about Ransack here. I really do think that is the way to play it. It is a really good attacker for just 5 stars, which is not something we've seen very much of, at least in the cards from the first set we've seen. And in terms of character cards, we've seen almost all of them at this stage. Just so long as you're playing a whole bunch of orange icons. Now, if we flick it over into alt mode, into insect mode here, when you damage an enemy using this card, repair 1 damage from one of your Insecticons. It's fine. I mean, we're going to look at Swarm in a moment, and you could use this to combo with Swarm quite nicely. More on that in a moment. So it's fine. I don't think this is the best thing about it, but then again, there are going to be turns where repairing 1 damage is going to be the difference between having a character knocked out and not having it knocked out. So certainly healing will be good. I just don't think it's as good as the bot mode here. In terms of combos with other Insecticons, I mean, Barrage, when you flip it to alt mode, one of your characters gets PS2 until the end of the turn. So that's quite nice, giving you PS2 as long as you're doing 2 damage. As long as you've got 2 attack, 2 of that damage will get through. Chopchop, when you attack in bot mode, you can move and upgrade from one of your characters to this one. So if you have an upgrade on Kickback you don't want, you can move it over. And Insecticon Scrapnel, when you flip to this mode, the alt mode, you can KO one of your Insecticons and then tap an enemy that has 13 or fewer stars, so it could work with that. It's not exactly the best pure combos ever, but certainly there are uses. Now, the other card that I love for Kickback here is Swarm. Swarm is awesome. Flip a battle card for each Insecticon with which you started the game. For each orange icon you flip, your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 1 damage to it. For each blue that you flip, repair 1 damage from one of your characters. Now, the blue side of that will actually combo nicely with your alt mode, because it's all just healing. But I love playing this as an aggressive deck. Remember, now that we've got Kickback, we can play a deck with 4 Insecticons, which firstly means that Kickback's skill in terms of building up its attack is much better, but it makes Swarm much better. You are now flipping 4 battle cards rather than 3. And again, this is where those double orange icon cards come in. Your Peace Through Tyranny and your Improvised Shield. Because now, if you flip a 2 orange icon card, you get to basically do 2 damage to your opponent's board. And yes, they get to choose where that damage goes, but you're still doing 2 damage to your opponent's board. Like I said at the top of this video, the fact that it costs 5 is the best thing about this card, because now you've got 4 Insecticons, Swarm is better, and the skill on bot mode here is better. Now, there are another couple of cards I do want to mention with this particular card here. In terms of action cards, we've got Ready for Action, which allows you to untap one of your characters that has 10 stars or fewer. You have 5, so you're fine. The bigger they are gives one of your characters +2 attack until the end of the turn, and while it's attacking an enemy that has more stars than it gets PS4. Now the downside is it's got a blue icon, no orange icon. On the upside, this has got 5 stars. It is the cheapest character we've seen so far. In terms of cost, we've got RC Skilled Warrior, that has a cost of 5. We've got Flame War Veteran Decepticon, that's got a cost of 5, and that's it. If you are attacking any other cards, they are going to have more stars than you, which means you're going to have PS4. As far as I'm concerned, that is awesome. In terms of upgrade cards, the only one I really love, other than Improvised Shield for the reasons stated earlier, is Bug Bomb. Bug Bomb is a utility upgrade, which can only be put onto Insecticons, but if that Insecticon is then KO'd, you draw a card, and you scrap an enemy upgrade, and your opponent chooses a card from their hand and scraps it. It's great disruption for Insecticons. And as a side note here, if we go back to chopchop, if chopchop is about to get KO'd, you can move a Bug Bomb over to it, as long as you attack with it in bot mode, and then when it gets KO'd, Bug Bomb will kick in. I love Kickback. I was not loving the Insecticons until this came out. Now we can legitimately have a deck of 4 Insecticons. I'm thinking this is a whole lot more fun. And I'm thinking Swarm becomes an almost broken card. Maybe it's going to turn out that needing all those orange icons in your deck just isn't going to be that viable. But remember, there's hopefully going to be more expansions revealed. Which means eventually we will build up more and more of these cards that have double orange icons. So it might be that it's not amazing now, but maybe in 2-3 sets time this gets even better. Either way, I am now stoked about Insecticons, and also, this game's out in 2 days, and I'm stoked. So do please make sure that you drop a like down below, tell me what you think about Kickback in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe to get all of my Transformers TCG videos in the future. And do make sure you're following on Twitter at the Wossy, because, you know, that's where I tweet stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.